Every now and then on social media, I'll stumble across an incredible looking indie game that makes me want to immediately play it. This is usually helped by New Blood CEO Dave Oshry posting about practically anything that catches his eye, but he recently put me onto this rather charming first-person dungeon crawler called Dragon Ruins. Created by Grave Robber Foundation, a small team that has made a career out of injecting new ideas into the age-old dungeon crawler genre, Dragon Ruins grabbed my attention due to its tagline, a dungeon-crawling microgame for tired people. Hey, that's me. Having played the entire thing in a single sitting, I can confidently say that Dragon Ruins most certainly is a game for tired people. There's no false advertising there. The thing is, the novelty of that gimmick sort of wears off once you've beaten the game, and while I wouldn't feel upset if I had purchased this, I know some people might not want to spend any kind of money on a game such as this. Even so, I found the thing charming enough to review, so let's get into the nitty-gritty on this indie gem. Seeing as how a single run through Dragon Ruins can go as quickly as 90 minutes, I won't belabor my point here. The game starts with a simple premise and features even simpler gameplay. Called by an unnamed queen to explore the ruins of Thessaly, situated near the capital of Isgawir, you and your party of heroes delve into the dungeon to defeat the dragon and save the day. Being that this is a dungeon crawler, you'll level up, accumulate gold, and upgrade your gear to help you get deeper and deeper into the ruins. First off, Dragon Ruins is an automatic dungeon crawler. While progression is controlled by the player via movement through textureless rooms, combat will happen automatically when you encounter enemies. There are no character models or sprites. All you will see are portraits, and they'll bob up and down when attacking or receiving damage. You can run away from battles, but you won't need to worry about picking attacks or figuring out what you have equipped. That's all taken care of. At the start, you'll assemble your party of 4 by picking one of 8 different classes. I'm not entirely sure if the classes truly matter, but your first 2 characters will be placed in the front row and will take the brunt of attacks from enemies. For that reason, it behooves you to put characters with better attack stats and speed stats up front versus those that have good attack but practically no health. It's at least a little bit of strategy. The only other major thing to note in Dragon Ruins is that the starting shop sells potions to revive fallen characters in the middle of battle and a teleporter scroll to warp you back to town from where you're currently standing. That comes in incredibly handy as your characters will not be able to level up out in the ruins. You will need to return to town and spend gold to level them up, and you can accomplish this by using a scroll, walking all the way back, or finding one of the few teleporters that are located in the dungeon. Movement plays exactly how you would expect from a first-person dungeon crawler. You can move forwards and backwards, turn left and right, and strafe left and right. Since you don't have to worry about looking at enemies, you can even move during combat while the game takes care of everything. This makes progression move at a lightning pace, and ensures you won't get stuck for very long. If you happen to die in a dungeon without potions, you'll simply lose your current XP and be transported back to town. That's really it. Dragon Ruins doesn't have a lot else going on. What caught my eye was the awesome artwork, which is actually colorized sprites from Grave Robber's previous game, Demon Lord Reincarnation. There's also a smooth-sounding OST that sort of resembles the work done for Perfect Dark on N64. It's a fun little experience that would feel right at home on a mobile device. I have no problem with the simplistic nature of Dragon Ruins, as the store page is completely upfront about what the game is. It even explains how this version of the game is an enhanced version of a Dungeon Crawler Jam 2024 entry, with some extra quality of life updates. You can find that original version on itch for free if you'd like. A link will be in the description. Once you finish the game, everything but your level resets, and you can challenge the dragon again. You'll need to power up some more, but the layout of the dungeon is exactly the same. In fact, starting a new game doesn't remix the dungeon either. This is a fixed design with the same rooms and boss locations. That's a little bit of a bummer, but not a deal breaker. Really, Dragon Ruins feels like a game designed for players on the Steam Deck. Obviously, you can play it in 4K as this video is showing, and the artwork scales wonderfully. There's a cool scanline effect, and the desaturated colors are amazing. It's even fun to just screw around for an hour or two to complete a game and be done with it. Dragon Ruins almost feels like a mixture between Ultima Underworld and Cookie Clicker. It's basically an idle game for people that grew up in the 80s. For that reason, I can't make a definitive claim on whether or not this will be suitable for everyone or anyone. I enjoyed my brief time with the game, and when I looked through some Steam reviews, I happened upon one that summed up my thoughts pretty well. With the sheer number of games coming out nowadays in the $5 to $15 price range, Dragon Ruins may not have enough content for some people. At the same time, I found it was a solid throwback to PC RPG roots that left me wanting more. Considering Demon Lord Reincarnation looks to be a beefier version of this very game, that might be my next stop. At any rate, Grave Robber Foundation seems to be doing some very specific and niche work that may just appeal to you. If you're a fan of very old school RPGs, this team is one that you should keep your eye on.